Now we're going to take a look at some of the exercises that you can do for yourself and or share with other people to help release tension in the jaw. As I hope you have just read, there is a very strong connection between the pelvic floor and the jaw. So all of these exercises that we can do that are going to open up the hips, they're going to release tension in the pelvic area, and also exercises that we can do to help open up the jaw, release tension in the jaw, are hopefully going to free us from any blocks that we might have lingering in these areas and open us up to more space and ease for our vocalizing. One of the first exercises that I really love to share is super yummy, and it is just very simply a jaw massage. Again, when we do this, when we do any exercise, I really do recommend first coming into postural awareness. In my opinion, if we do an exercise, if we do a breathing exercise or a release tension exercise or a vocalizing exercise, whilst having a posture that is not really supporting us, what we're doing is really training the mind-body connection in the incorrect way. So rather than doing that, always take the time to come back to yourself, practicing the grounding exercises, breathing into the back body and the feet, coming into interoceptive self-inner awareness, taking a few breaths to ground and center, checking the alignment, checking that we're grounded, stable and open in our posture, and then from there moving into exercises, and then from there moving into vocalizing. For this massage, you do not need anything, just need your fingers and your jaw. As you do it, check that the head is not protruding forward, so the head is not jutting forward. Again, the optimal alignment that I recommend is the chin over the heart and the crown extending towards the sky. As you do this, check that the teeth are not together, but that there is space, that the tongue is softly resting on the floor of the mouth. And then what you're going to do is get your fingers and just starting in the back jaw muscle here. Now, for some people, this might be painful. If it is, for you, painful, please respect your body's boundaries. You don't have to do anything that's too much. You could try pressing just softly. If that's too much, then skip this exercise and go with something else. Always check. Always check for yourself, and if you're working with others, always check for them how their tolerance level is with a specific exercise. What might be right for me might not be right for you, and vice versa. And also what might work for you today might not work for you tomorrow. So we always want to keep the essence of yoga alive in our practice of life, and that is being flexible and open. If you can, taking the fingers, and you can try either using 2 or 3, and softly pressing into the jaw muscle, and starting in circles to move the jaw muscle. You can go in clockwise or counterclockwise as you like, and we can do both sides at the same time. As you're doing this, if you can, focusing on nose breathing and not mouth breathing. You may find this is what happens for me because I have jaw tension. If I press too hard into a certain spot, I start to cough. So there's for me an energy block that then causes a release. And this is why I said earlier, please go at your own pace and be aware of your body's boundaries. So you may find it helpful to press into certain points. I have to take a sip of water because of that. It may be too much, as you just saw from my demonstration, to press into certain points. Always feeling what is right for you and always offering alternatives for somebody else. And then you can start to move through and working the fingers along the lower jaw, along the bone. Really take time for this. You may want to put on some nice music. It's really an idea of coming back to the body, coming back to the self, and I kind of find it like a foot massage. It's not something that we do that often, or a hand massage. It's not something that we do that often, but if we would do it more often, it would be really good for us. So taking time still. You may like to move then, as you can see me. I'm kind of following my jawline, but also coming slightly into the cheek area. This is going to help release tension in the articulators. And once you've had enough, you can just wipe that energy. Always want to be aware of what we're doing with energy as well. So as I'm doing this, I may like to ask the universe to take it and transmute it for the highest good of all, or perhaps burn some sage, or go outside into the wind and let the energy of the wind blow it away. But always this idea that we're not just polluting into the space around us, but rather that we're co-creating together with the universe, and asking that whatever we let go of also be given as an offering for the highest good. So when you feel like you've had enough, you can stop that. And I recommend always taking a moment afterwards to feel into the space, letting the jaw be soft, the tongue be soft, being aware of sensations, impulses that you might be noticing through the cheeks, the jaw, tongue area, perhaps shoulders and neck. Okay, now the next exercise I'm going to share with you is honestly one of my favorite exercises. I share this everywhere, and I'm waiting for the moment where it comes back to me like a Mexican wave, that I have someone sharing it to me. It is what I call the chew like a big beautiful cow exercise. This exercise has two parts, so please wait until I explain it. In the first part, we're going to open the mouth very wide, like the first part of a yawn. In the second part, we're going to bring the lips together like a big juicy kiss. And I just did this with my shoulders, but please don't do that. Please try to maintain a consistent posture for yourself. And then it's going to be one fluid movement. We open the mouth, we bring the lips together. We open, we bring them together. And I recommend doing this for around about 1 minute. You can go slower if you feel like you need to go slower. And if you notice what comes out of it is maybe the need to move another part of your body, another impulse that might be there, then please do that. Always listen to the wisdom of your own Soma and allow it to inform what you need. It's often a difference between listening to the mind. Not that the mind is bad, but sometimes what we think we need and actually what we really need might not be the same. Okay, so we've done a massage, we've done my favorite cow chewing exercise, and now for this next exercise, what we're going to do, and I generally offer this one for people that have serious jaw tension. So some of my one-to-one clients, for example, will come to me with very, very tight jaws, and this is always going to block vocalization in some way. When this is the case, and I've given them the cow chewing exercise and perhaps the massage, and that's still happening, then I go to this exercise. And this is really a wonderful exercise. You're going to need to go and get a cloth. Please do not use tissue or anything that can degrade. you need material. So either take a kitchen towel or a small bathroom towel or your shirt, but have a cloth nearby. So if you need to pause the video, please do so and go and get a cloth. And now with this exercise, we're going to do it in different parts. So actually the first part of this exercise is just working with the jaw. It's very important that you have correct alignment and posture for this. We're going to be pulling down the chin. As you do that, please make sure that your head stays upright, that it's not moving down. If it helps you to do this in front of a mirror, please go to a mirror and do this exercise so that you can see exactly what you're doing. I do recommend this because sometimes what we think we're doing and what we're actually doing are not the same thing. And the mirror gives us the feedback of reality for us to really see, oh, what am I doing here? So again, if you need to pause the video and go and stand in front of a mirror, if you would like that, please do that. And now what we're going to do is with the right alignment, the tongue is lying soft and relaxed on the floor of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is touching softly the back of the bottom teeth. And we're going to place this part of the hand, the flesh, onto the chin. And then what we're going to do is with that part of the hand, we're going to pull the chin down. This is why we need to keep the jaw soft and try to check that the tongue is staying on the floor of the mouth. If you can, try to keep breathing through your nose. We'll hold this for around 5 to 10 seconds and then we'll come back and release it. Pausing to see the effect, be aware interoception, what's happening in my soma. Is there a shift that I need to do? What does my body say? Then repeat the exercise. You can repeat it 2 to 3 times. Again, pausing afterwards to observe what's happening, how is your experience. Now this is for the jaw, but this exercise is also and can also be a wonderful exercise with the tongue if we have jaw and tongue tension. I will touch more on tongue release exercises during vocalizing, but I just want to give this together because it's often an exercise that I actually share together with jaw and tongue. If you notice that as you were doing this exercise and you were in front of a mirror, that your tongue was doing some real funky things and didn't want to relax on the floor of the mouth, and if this happened, it's not abnormal. I would say at least half of the people that I work with have this issue. Then it might be that you have some tongue tension. And then I would recommend adding this next step to the exercise. This is where the cloth is important because you're going to take the tip of your tongue with the cloth. The first part of the exercise remains the same as we just did it. You're going to pull down the jaw, and this time you're going to grab the tip of the tongue and pull it out. Please be aware, if you have a short band, then do not stick your tongue directly outright. It's going to hurt you. Rather, let the tongue go this way, go down towards the chin. If you have a longer band, you could try sticking the tongue directly out in front of you. Always listen to the wisdom of your body. Again, respect your own boundaries. Please don't do anything that's going to cause you pain. Pain is a signal that something is not right. Okay, here we go. And I will actually turn myself so you can see me better. Checking the alignment. And we're going to hold this again for about 10 seconds. then resting. If you need to do a movement, please do. And then we're going to repeat it. And then coming back. My recommendation as you do the exercise, always try to breathe through the nose. It might be strange at first, but we can do that. Then also imagine breathing in to the jaw, and as you breathe out, letting it relax and soften. We did this in the embodiment exercise and the tension release. It's the same idea. Breathe into tension, breathe out, let it relax and soften. So in that way, we're not just in an exercise holding a shape, but rather we're working with the experience and trying to help our body open and have more spaciousness intentionally. Now, what I suggest you do after this now, taking a moment for yourself, is vocalize. Try toning or humming or perhaps reciting something and see how your voice feels. Then take about 2 or 3 minutes for this, and then write down your experience in your journal on the different levels of being. So this idea of the body level of being, the emotional level of being, the physical level of being, and the mental spirit, let me say that again. The physical level of being, emotional level of being, the mental level of being, and also the spiritual level of being. So just see, I find it's always really interesting for me personally and also for my clients, what happens when we vocalize after we create space here through the jaw area. And just as we did with the other exercises, what happens when we vocalize after we create space. Sometimes we won't observe a difference. Other times, if that area may have been really holding on to tension, in my experience, we really notice a difference in terms of the accessibility of vocal flow for us, and also on the way we experience our voice, and of course, through that, on the way the voice sounds, so the qualities that we hear in the voice. Take a look, have a try for yourself, take time to do this now. As I said, 2 to 3 minutes for the vocalizing. Write down, you can take longer, you can take 5 to 10 minutes, and then join me to continue the journey of breath and the voice.